Okay, so big O-rings installed, 2 little O-rings installed, new seal installed in the back, and we will slide it back on. Lube up my seal a little bit. Okay. Make sure everything's as clean as can be. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull it off and just make sure that big O-ring is where it should be, and it is. Okay, so we pop that on, and then we put the nuts on. And this is the easy part. We haven't even gotten to the damn triple seals yet. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten up my nuts here. Okay, I tried various tricks to pull the seal out from inside the throwout bearing, but despite sharpened paint sticks and plastic forks, I'm afraid nothing worked except very carefully using my little pick tool. So that will do it. You just have to be careful not to scratch anything. So that one's out, and the new one goes in. I'm just going to check and make sure it looks nice and clean, which it does. And there doesn't seem to be a top or a bottom. It seems to be go either way. So we will smash it into the opening, and boop, Bob's your uncle. All done. Okay, that's the little one. And then, it's hard to see, but the big one's back here. It's just so flush with the other one that it looks like it was born there. So we will pop that out and replace it with the new one. Okay, this one actually did pop out with the sharpened stick routine, and when it pops out you can see that the groove goes downward. So we're going to chuck that one on the floor, get our new one with the groove going downward, and pop that in, and okay, it's all happy. They're a lot easier to put in than they are to take out, that is for sure. Okay, so we will clean it off. Make sure everything is nice and pristine. And then we will slide it back on from whence it came. There we go. Get the annoying light out of the way. Okay. Get a little bit of brake fluid and okay, all cleaned up, ready to go on. So now, before I slide it back in, I need to I'm going to start sliding it and then put I have the 2 little springs that are going to push against it. So goes on with the bearing facing out, and We will gently put it on. Then we will pop the springs in. Okay, there's one. Okay, springs are attached. So now all I have to do is put my little keeper thing back on to stop the whole thing from shooting all over the place. Okay, now down to the main course here, and that is the infamous triple seals, which are revealed when you pull the shaft out. So it sits like that, and pull it out, and boop, there you go. There is a metal ring here which needs to come off before we can fit the new ones. Okay, so I just pried it out of the groove and just slide it down the shaft and pop it off. And that leaves now the dreaded triple seals. So I'm going to take my sharpened stick here again and see if I can pop these puppies out. Now, it won't pop them out, but it will lift them up enough that I can get my ring under them. And then I'm just going to cut them with my cross-cut wire cutters. Okay, so that's one down, two more to go. Okay, to get these damn things on, everybody suggests a piece of plastic to cover up the harsh ridges here and to keep your triple seals from getting mangled so they don't seal. So I just used a piece of binder plastic and hit it briefly with a heat gun and then wrapped it around an extension from the ratchet wrench and got it into a pretty decent form. And now I'm just going to stick it on there and put a piece of tape on it. Obviously you start with the farthest triple seal and work your way forward. And the triple seals need to go into very hot water for about 5 minutes. When you pull the triple seals out of the package, they're surprisingly hard. You expect like a rubber O-ring, but they're like a hard plastic, so you'll never get them on like this. You have to soften them up. So into the hot water they go. Okay, while I'm waiting for my triple seals to soften up, I couldn't find actual torque specs for these bolts, so I did them at about 23 foot-pounds, which seemed plenty tight. I also have some part numbers. For some of these things, the O-ring that goes replaces the one for the little gear inspection plate is 131747. The triple seals that are currently being boiled are 137249. The two teeny tiny O-rings up at the top are 121813, so you need two of those. The seals for the throwout bearing, one of them is 151822. There's a 139438, and I think the big ring in the back is 131651. And then there's also a little teeny O-ring that goes right here. That's 104984. Okay, for my latest installment of America's Funniest Home Videos, I'm going to try and put one of these damn triple seals on. Even after boiling, they're still incredibly stiff. Basically, you have to keep working it and working it so you're actually stretching it out. And once you get it on, it'll be huge and saggy, and you'll say, what the hell? Then you have to try and shrink them back into shape. Good test of your fingernail strength. Okay, I've got one onto the plastic. I'm just going to slide it down and make sure my plastic is covering all the slots except the last one. We'll see if we can drop it in. Okay, it's on the last slot, but as you can see, it's hugely oversized now. Okay, that's one, and we will do two more. Okay, I got two on, and after thinking about this, they're so overstretched by the time you get them on. What I did was take my handy extension socket thing here, and took my ring and stuck it on there and basically pre-stretched it, bringing it up over this wider area, because it's a lot easier to maneuver it onto this than it is to try and get it over the plastic sleeve on the shaft. And then once I have it stretched onto there, I'll let it sit for a minute or two, then I will get it over the plastic, and it's a lot easier than trying to just start with the skinny little ring, because it's going to stretch further getting it over this and onto the shaft. Okay, got my three seals on, but let me zoom in here. As you can see, once you stretch them out enough to get them on the shaft, they're like way oversized and they won't really fit back in the little hole. So people suggested wrapping plastic around and putting hose clamps on to try and shrink them back down, so that's what I'm going to do.